Gridiron Fanatics. Glad you could join us here for the divisional playoff edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style, where we gab about all things pro football, from the scoops of the regular season to the scores in the postseason and the picks of the offseason. Let's start now.
The autumn winds move like the thunderous waves of Neptune's sacred palace. And here, amongst the blackened soil, lies the ragged hands, worn, torn, and callous. They await with cunning and vicious prowess, for the warriors have returned.
Come on, Dave! Don't do it! No way! You ready
But behold.
Welcome back, you guys. Thank you for joining us yet again, as this is, of course, the divisional round edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo here. Glad to be joining you here again, as your boy here actually predicted. I know. Predicted your boys moving on. And as I said, I'm looking forward to this one. This is probably, I think the two matchups I'm looking forward to the most are the two on Saturday. Because as many of you know, if you've seen me outside of the studio, many of you heard me say that I was interested in seeing what Jordan Love was going to be able to do. Because technically this guy is a rookie. This is his first year starting. And it was a slow start. And I think some of that had to do with the coaching staff becoming more and more comfortable and acclimated to what this guy does. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is a guy that has really brought his game to another level. He has really been exceptionally well. He has done exceptionally well. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, this has been nothing short of a roller coaster ride with all the trimmings. Well, as I said, I'm looking at this Houston Baltimore Ravens game with close scrutiny. I'm scrutinizing it very close. And I'm just going to be, honest with you. I think what this game is truly going to come down to, it's going to come down to the same things that I told you guys it was going to come down to the Houston and Cleveland game. I think ultimately the Houston Texans not only have a chance to control their own destiny, but they also have an opportunity to grow in a way that many people are not going to be able to grow. Especially if they're able to move on. They're able to do the things that they do against a defense that is as dynamic or forceful as the Ravens do. They send a lot of different looks. They shadow a lot of their blitzing now. And the offensive line is going to have to be great. And I'm going to be honest with you. In order for Baltimore to win this game, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, you guys. In order for Baltimore to win this game at home, they're going to have to put pressure on C.J. Stroud. Because C.J. Stroud is just playing out of his mind right now. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. He's really just playing out of his mind. And for people who don't understand how this offense works, I really don't think people truly value what... I don't think a lot of people understand what Bobby Slowick has done. And you can't give all the credit to Slowick, but I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at the way this offense has just crescendoed, and that's the only way I can really describe what's going on with the Houston Texans offense. And I'm not just talking about the offense, but to make the comparisons to what you've seen in Carolina as opposed to here. It ain't just C.J. Stroud. And anybody that thinks it's just C.J. Stroud, then you really don't understand, the concepts that go into being successful in the National Football League.
What a dumbass!
Now, Bobby Slowick is getting a ton of head coaching interviews. Now, do I think he's done this all by himself? Absolutely not. Do I think C.J. Stroud has a lot to do with it? Absolutely. But Bobby Slowick deserves a great deal of the credit as well. But as I've said before, I truly believe that this is a football team that is not only ready to take the next step, but they are going to take the next step. And I think that is going to be Saturday, because here's the reality. Whether people want to admit this or not, the Houston Texans are going to be good for a while, barring injuries or any kind of catastrophic injury to C.J. Stroud. The coaching staff, people are going to give the coaching staff their kudos, and justifiably so. They should. But I am going to, bring out the true blue nature of what it is. And the reality of it is that the Houston Texans are starting to get it going. And I believe what am I talking about? They already have it going.
Dumb shit!
Houston Texans are confident. They're young. And coming into this, they're not even supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be doing the things that they're doing. But yet, here they are. They are successful. They're placing their stake in this league as a team that should be reckoned with. And the reality of it is, whether people want to admit it or not, this is a football team that you will get beaten by. This is not something that you can ignore. I'm just going to be honest. You cannot ignore the fact that this is a football team that is getting it together at an early time frame, in my opinion, because DeMeco Ryans, he's not supposed to have them ready at this point. They're not supposed to be doing what they're doing. But Slowick has got this team, okay, if I've got a defense that is fast or they bring a lot of different looks, let me figure out what to do to either change the launch point or to generate more of an effective blocking scheme or to generate quick throws. And this is, to me, what is going to be the difference in this ball game. I think ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to find out, and I've said this many times, Baltimore lives and dies by their blitzing. They're not that great in one-on-one coverage. They just make quarterbacks have to get rid of the ball, and their corners really throw receivers off the routes. Whereas you look here at the Ravens and the Texans, this matchup not only is going to be a testament to which defense is capable of generating pressure, but then on the other hand, you've also got MVP candidate Lamar Jackson. I'm not a fan of Lamar. I think people like Stephen A. Smith continue to talk this guy up. Hasn't won a playoff game.
It's official.
You got to get done.
What a dumbass!
And the reality of it is, people are going to say, "Oh well, you're this. It's not easy to win in the playoffs." I know it's not easy to win in the playoffs. You don't have to explain that to me.
Bruh.
You do not have to explain that to me.
Dumb shit! Dumb shit!
Sorry. Lamar Jackson has one win. He's 1-3 in the playoffs. My mistake. And the fact is, you can have all the numbers in the regular season, but you have to be able to get it done in the postseason. Lamar Jackson is just like Justin Herbert. He's not gotten his playoff record's not been good. The reason why we can say Michael Jordan is the GOAT because he has such a great playoff history. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, he lost a lot in his early days, but then he dominated. Okay, if that's what you want to use it, fine. But what we're talking about here is a guy that is winning MVPs but not showing up in the playoffs. Okay? This is not just some fabrication. He has not been showing up. And the reality of it is, when you start looking at some of the most electrifying players of all time in their playoffs, they have at least some semblance of not necessarily domination, but some abilities to pull wins and victories. You know, playoffs is where great players are made, or what I say, legends are made. I mean, I'm not going to put Eli Manning in there, but he's got two of the most legendary plays in Super Bowl history. So, to that extent, that is true. But let's break this down by the number, shall we? Now, we already understand that a team like the Baltimore Ravens lives and dies by the turnover. Now, ultimately, what this team wants to do is they want to be able to run the football. And they want to be able to play the play-action game. That is ultimately what they want to be able to do. Now, do I say Houston has problems with that? Absolutely. We saw bits and pieces of that against the Cleveland Browns. Now, however, in my opinion, that is what was the difference between Houston. They didn't come out and just throw 3 straight times on a regular. They were attempting to get that running game going any way necessary, whether it was being creative, getting the ball to wide receivers. That's what they did. But here's the thing. This is the thing, in my opinion, that is going to settle this game. Now, we see both of these teams have double digits when it comes to turnover differential. Now, I get it. This game's in Baltimore. Stroud hasn't been bad on the road. He's been elite in some games, but I think the elements are a different animal. As we've seen, and I've seen being a guy in Georgia, I don't do well with temperatures under 35 degrees. I don't do well with temperatures under 40 degrees. Having said that, I think this game is going to be predicated on which team does not make mistakes. I think this is going to be a game where, and we've seen it, Lamar Jackson's had problems hanging on to the football, whether it's throwing it or putting it on the turf. And as I said, you guys, breaking this game down and even breaking it down in the Cleveland game, Cleveland had a better statistical defense than Baltimore, if you can believe that. And that was a beatdown. Now, granted, that game was in Houston. I get it. But I also believe that Houston has one of the top 5 front fours in the National Football League. And it was on display again last week. And the reality of it is, this defense is fast. This is a crazy blend. To me, they've got the speed of the Dallas Cowboys, but they also have the size of the Cleveland Browns. That's the difference. They have that size. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. If Lamar Jackson thinks he's going to run all over this Houston defense, he may be out of this game by halftime. Because these Houston guys, they hit. They hit, and they hit hard. I mean, we can talk for days about how good and efficient that this defense plays the game. I mean, what really is amazing to me is how DeMeco Ryan schemes up ways to get guys like Will Anderson on the inside, and their ability to go from 2-on-2 to 3-on-2. That is what is amazing to me, is the great scheme capability of DeMeco Ryans. And that's what I love about this team. This team gives you so many different things to look at. They give you an immense look of packages. And so do the Ravens. There's no taking away that. And these guys do have an abundance of playmakers. But I think the difference is that left side, if you can't confuse Laramie Tunsil, and I'm going to be honest with you, to me, the only chance the Ravens have, they're going to have to show overloads. Because this Houston Texans line is very good. It is very good. They block well. They communicate well. And C.J. Stroud manipulates the pocket like a vet, you guys. To me, that's going to be another at the end of this game, is how well C.J. Stroud is going to be able to manipulate the pocket. I believe if Lamar Jackson can run for 100 in this game, but if he doesn't throw for at least 250, they're not going to win this game. They are not. This is why I truly believe that the Houston Texans win this ball game. This is why. Because I don't like the conditions that are going to be at M&T Stadium. I don't like where this game is going. Where you're going to see C.J. Stroud make a play. You're going to see Lamar Jackson make plays with his feet, but he's not going to be able to do it because right now Mark Andrews is still a huge question mark. A huge question mark. Now, granted, people are going to say, well, they were winning without him, but here's the thing. D'Amico Ryans is going to play that soft coverage. He's not going to let you get anything past 15 yards. Anything back there, he's not going to let you get it. He's going to make Lamar Jackson pick them apart within there. And I still have no faith in Lamar Jackson's ability to get the ball dink, doink, 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 doink. I don't. Don't see it, don't see it. And I think the speed of this Texans defense, as we look, I think this Texans defense is going to make them make mistakes, being Lamar Jackson. Because, don't get me wrong, Todd Monken is a great offensive coordinator. But I think here what's going to happen is Lamar's inability to throw the football is going to be showcased. And there are going to be a lot of people that are going to stop right there and say, is he really the MVP? And I think C.J. Stroud, even though the season's over, people are going to say, well, we don't count the postseason. Well, guess what? We're playing all the way up to the Super Bowl and make our decisions based on the MVP then. That's what I'm looking at, guys. I'm looking at that. But as I get ready to make my decision, I know home field plays a huge part, and that crowd's going to be loud. But I also look at the fact that in week one, you guys, in C.J. Stroud's first game, he didn't throw a pick. But I do believe C.J. Stroud is going to be the guy. He is going to be that dude. He is going to be that guy that's going to come out there and he's going to make everybody understand why he is not only a history-making rookie of the year, but he's going to show the world why, and honestly, right now, at this point, you got, I don't know, a lot of people don't realize this, but the 2024-23 draft has all but one of its quarterbacks drafted in this division. The AFC South has 3 of 2023's top QBs, or the quad QBs as I called them on my other show. And right now, the only one of those teams that has a quarterback not in this draft class or last year's draft class was the Jaguars in Trevor Lawrence. I'm just going to say, C.J. Stroud is probably going to be the guy here for a long. I love Trevor Lawrence, or a.k.a. Pretty Boy, as my buddy A-Train would refer to him. But that's where we stand. But guys, I'm taking the Texans by a field goal. I'm predicting the upset, and C.J. Stroud gets the Texans to the AFC title game. But let me know what you guys think. Hit me up at Instagram at Mr. CeeLo and see the things that I'm into. Also, go to the Facebook page of the same name, Gridiron Gab Pro Style. And if you guys have comments, please put them up underneath the show. We love hearing your feedback. So many of you guys have been on the show. I've been so busy, you guys. I haven't been able to check the Facebook page. I'm trying to interact with you guys, but please keep bringing that stuff in here. I love you guys. I think you're awesome. So make sure you guys stay warm and stay inside with this Arctic storm coming through here. And also, make sure you got your refreshments and everything, because tomorrow night is going to be great. Make sure you check out my next show that I'm doing on the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. You guys love it, especially you Packer fans. But until the next time, same Gap channel, same Gap platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms, for they are here. An army that has the will to challenge and the will to dare.
I don't want you ever giving